This is the Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Alex R. White, PLLC, at SueDistractedDriver.com. Each week, your host, Vanessa Hankins, and her guests share memories and stories about the past, the present, and the future of the Tri-State area. That's West Virginia, Kentucky, and the Ohio areas. If you used to live here, or you currently live here, you're going to catch yourself saying out loud, "Wow, I remember that." Now, here's Vanessa.
Hey guys, it's Vanessa, and I got my co-host Jason here. Hey Jason.
Hey, how are you?
And this is the Tri-State Time Machine, and we're excited to have you guys back today, and we have a treat for you. And I think we were just talking before we started recording, I think he's going to help us with some of our Halloween episodes again this year like he did last year.
Good stuff.
Have local filmmaker Dylan Smith in the studio with us in the Time Machine. What's up, Dylan?
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Vanessa.
We love it. We love having you here. We were just, I was being a fangirl and telling him how much I love his work. If you've seen his commercial that was shot up in LaFontaine's, so fun. It had me wanting to be an actress at my ripe age of almost 40. I was like, maybe I didn't make the right career choices. So
that's right.
So we love the work. We love everything that you're doing at the Foundry.
Thank you so much.
Let's kind of start there. Let's talk about all the things that you've been doing at the Foundry, and then we'll get to what the subject matter is of this episode.
Okay, absolutely. So if you guys don't know, for our listeners, the Foundry Theater is a 110-year-old movie theater in Huntington. It's technically the oldest operating movie theater or cinema house. It's a indie movie theater, so we don't show modern movies, but we've sort of started this thing in the past year where my boss, Rachel Allender, has sort of revamped the theater with like a new projector. Yeah, she's really gone above and beyond to, make this place back into a movie theater, right? So new projector, new screen, new sound, so you can go in here and watch a movie on the biggest screen in Huntington, in the oldest theater in Huntington. And it's got a lot of character. People say it's haunted, and it's huge. It holds over 800 people just downstairs. And it's a 2-floor theater, so it's beautiful, it's fun. And then I'm a huge cinema fan, so I've collected all sort of like old movie posters and stuff over my life. And so one of my friends was a framing artist, so he framed, he framed like 70 like posters for us. Some of them are like taller than me. Some of them are like 6 feet tall. Advertisements from like France.
Cool. I love that. Up there in a little bit. I need to go up and check it out because usually, and Jason also spends a lot of time in City Hall. So those of you at home, the cinema that we were talking about is located within City Hall in Huntington. So usually when I'm going up there, I'm going to talk to my boss, Dan Underwood, who is right outside and to the left. Like
Gotcha.
If you're looking out the windows, his office is to the left.
Yeah.
So that's usually, I go straight up the stairs to his office and I go right back out. So
yeah, so a lot of those old city halls, like basically in every town, was built with a theater upstairs because that's where everyone would meet, without
the meeting place.
News or anything. So that's what you do. So now a lot of places across the country have turned these into like indie movie theaters, and some of them just sit empty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Huntington has so many gorgeous theaters sitting empty around town, and like even the Dragon Shop, like you can just go above the Dragon Shop and it's just an empty abandoned theater. Yeah.
Right.
And so we're really trying to change that and utilize the Foundry as somewhere that like people can connect and film fans can meet. And so we started showing films this year once a month, but now they've kind of turned to 1 or 2, sometimes 3 a month.
They've been successful.
They've been successful and they've multiplied. And so it's called Lil Dill's Foundry Flashbacks.
Love it.
And it is a movie series where once a month we bring a film that has some sort of relation to Appalachia, and we bring a special guest or some sort of surprise related to the film. So the first month, my mom is in a movie shot in Myrtle Beach. It's a ninja spy movie.
Your mom is
from the 80s.
She's so sweet, but she's also just so beautiful, and she's aging so well. Like,
she is a beaut.
I think all of us women aspire to age as well as your mother has.
Right. I'm proud of her. Yeah, so she came and she was a special guest for that movie. Her and her friends who were ninjas in this spy movie in the 80s in Myrtle. And then we did Mothman and had Susan Nicholas and Doug Corstangi. They had speaking parts in that movie. We did Day of the Dead with Tim Ear. We did Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King's. We brought the actual goblin head used from the movie in.
Yeah, I saw that. I wanted to go that night, and we were out of town. But how flippin' cool the story with the goblin thing!
It was one of our most fun nights. And successful
what
nights.
a cool find that thing is still out in the wild. It's so cool.
Yeah, shout out. His name's Tim Shockey. He owns the truck, and he brought it in, and he's awesome. I think he lives over in Ohio. He's a great guy. And we've been doing these sort of film showings, and basically this month is sort of one of our crowning achievements. If you guys know Brad Dourif, he's sort of one of West Virginia's biggest celebrities. He's one of our biggest character actors in the United States, in the country, in the world. One of our biggest movie stars. He's been in everything from Lord of the Rings to Chucky to Dune to...
When I think of him, and correct me if I'm wrong,
okay.
Did he play like a big vampire role at some point?
He might have. I'm going through a lot of his films now.
I'm gonna Google it because I feel like that
he has so many roles, and it's mind blowing to kind of look through his things.
That is like what comes to mind for some reason. I don't know why.
I guess they would consider that filmography or something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you, but
no, you're fine.
I really feel like he was in a movie with a vampire, or I don't think that he was the main actor, but like it was a storyline. So
right.
Sure.
Yeah, he's worked with like some of the world's greatest directors, like David Lynch is like one of the most famous. But he's worked with so many more obscure people like Brian Usna, and he was in The Exorcist 3. He's worked with Rob Zombie.
I mean, he's in all of the horror movies.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Cool.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
And he's so expressive with his face. He
really is.
If you guys know, do you know Conchetta Ferrell?
I do not.
Yes.
Conchetta Ferrell. Yep. She was the maid in 2.5 Men.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So she was from Marsh University.
She was awesome.
She was born
I did not
here.
know that.
She is like one of our other big actresses. She was in Network and Edward Scissorhands and a ton of stuff like that. Anyways, she's sort of like credited as, one of the people that found Brad Dourif.
Okay.
And so Brad Dourif was living, he's from Huntington, West Virginia. He was born here, and he was going to school for theater at Marsh University before he dropped out via the advice of Conchetta Ferrell.
Gotcha.
And like apparently there's like an interview with her where she says that like she came back, found Brad. She's passed away now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she came back, found Brad Dourif, kind of went backstage with him at this performance he was doing, and was like, "What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Like you're like next level." And so basically, Conchetta Ferrell and Brad Dourif lived together for some time when he moved to New York to go big. Yeah, and
awesome.
Then at 25, he kind of went huge in his. He went platinum in his debut, so to speak.
That's great.
With One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is an Oscar-winning film. But he was
Absolutely.
Oscar-nominated for that role as young Billy Babbitt for his like stuttering and his depiction of like this sort of broken, mentally instituted man.
Right.
And,
very different movie.
Yeah. And
if you've not seen it, like it's one that it's worth the watch.
it's very heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
It is.
And we are bringing Brad Dourif back into town, back in Huntington for one night, the Foundry Theater. So Rachel has worked super hard talking to Brad's wife and stuff. And so we are actually bringing Brad in for one night only to talk to people, to meet people, to do a Q&A.
What's the date on that?
So that's September 27th. And then we're going to watch the film, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, with Brad. So, there's a meet and greet beforehand. There's a showing with Brad, and then a Q&A afterwards.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And but Brad has so many crazy ties in town. And it's interesting because, like, his history goes so deep, and it's like, a lot of people are like born like as, a part of a celebrity family, or maybe they had acting roots, but Brad had some crazy golf roots. His dad was a celebrity professional golfer, Bill Campbell.
Oh, yeah, I know who Bill Campbell is.
Bill Campbell is.
Yeah, from this area.
Oddly enough.
It's his stepdad. Sorry, that was his stepdad. Okay. But his dad, Gene Dourif, owned like one of the biggest plants in Huntington that like kept Huntington running, which was a dye plant.
So he could have went in the family business just as easily as he went into the acting business.
And the dye plant, like I was reading a little bit about it, and I read that like people would come from the dye plant to Stewart's Hot Dogs. It was a drive-in back then.
Right there,
they'd be covered from head to toe in red dye. Like they would be like completely red,
like red humans.
Yeah,
like
and,
aliens.
all those people like after Brad went on to get famous, like ended up like dying from cancer,
Yeah.
like the same disease.
Terrible.
Yeah, just some really, really, really crazy roots in history there. And basically, Brad goes on to play like Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. He ends up playing like Chucky, like through all these films.
All the films.
Now his daughter, Fiona Dourif, if you know her.
I do not.
So his daughter, Fiona Dourif, has like carried on the torch as an actress. And she played the handicapped girl in the later Chucky films. But more recently, she was in HBO's The Pit. And he co-starred as a small guest appearance on HBO's The Pit. This was just in the last 6 months. And so he's still very active. She's very active. And so, yeah, there's something sort of to follow with her, in that sense. And her becoming a final girl, he's kind of like
I Googled her. I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't want to say, like, I knew she was, but I do know her face. I just didn't know that was her name.
Okay, yeah.
She's really good.
Yeah,
Great to keep that family lineage going.
Isn't that cool?
And she's so expressive like her dad. Like, I'm looking at, like, look at this photo. Like, look at his eyes.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Like, look at his eyes. Like, she's in it. She means business.
Yeah. And, like, I
love it.
A lot of Brad Dourif's roles are, like, sort of known for, like, he plays, like, an absolutely broken man always. He's always sort of, a character in pain or, in, need of something.
In need of saving.
Right,
in
right.
some way.
A broken man. Yeah, so one of his most famous roles is Sheriff Brackett in Rob Zombie's 1 and 2, Halloween 1 and 2.
Yes.
Those are great.
So those are super controversial, but, like, Danielle Harris, she played Michael Myers' younger sister in Halloween 4, right?
Okay,
so Danielle Harris this is really interesting. Danielle Harris was promised to sort of go on to be a continuing slasher character in Halloween 5 and 6.
Okay.
She was a big setup character in Halloween 4 to be Michael Myers' younger sister, and her role was cut, right? So it was a huge famous thing to a lot of fans.
Yeah.
She's gone on in interviews to talk about it, sort of how it, like, changed her childhood, a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so Rob Zombie actually gave her the chance to come back in Rob Zombie's 1 and 2 and play a, different character.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Like, earlier we were talking about, like, dead or alive, who would we pick to come on the
Yeah.
show? Why did I not think of Rob Zombie?
Dude.
Why not? Because he's like
such a
one
legend.
of the coolest humans ever.
Yeah. Yeah, he brings Danielle Harris on to play Annie Brackett, and Brad Dourif is Sheriff Brackett.
Yes.
And so one of the most famous scenes in the original is obviously that, like, Laurie's friends are getting slain, and Sheriff Brackett is, with Donald Pleasance, and he's saying, you let him get out,
You let him
everything.
get out,
And so in that version, Brad Dourif kind of gets to play, Sheriff Brackett in a completely different way, in the broken way that he does.
Right.
And one of his most famed scenes I've read on Reddit and everything is, when Danielle Harris gets killed by Michael. Or actually, she actually survives till the second film, so he has two chances to sort of lose his mind over, her destruction and how broken he is. But no, he comes in and Michael's, slashed her up, and people say that's one of Brad's, finest scenes.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I'm sure, because, like, imagining, because the work that they do in these films is so realistic.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that was one that, like, really took some effort.
Here's another cool one. Brad Dourif was in The Exorcist 3.
Really?
The Exorcist 3 was sort of a William Paul Blatty, who he actually wrote the original Exorcist. Mm-hmm. He was given the chance to direct The Exorcist 3 because The Exorcist 2 had been, so panned by critics, right? So he wanted to call it Legion. He wanted to do something totally different. And one of the actors, I might get this story a little bit cross. It's been a long,
okay.
But I'm gonna be close as I can. As close as I can.
You've got so much information to share, so, like, it's okay if it gets a little cross.
Basically, the guy that played Damien Karras, I believe his name is John Miller. He played Damien Karras in the original Exorcist. He was supposed to return in Exorcist 3.
Okay.
I believe, maybe, something like this. He ends up coming onto set, and he is a pure alcoholic since the first film. But he's carried this legacy of Damien Karras, so of course they got to bring him back. And he can't perform any of his lines. They say, like, I've read multiple things of, like, the director saying he had wet brain.
Yeah.
Which is like, he's just slipping.
Right.
And so he was going to, I think, be the guy that was possessed. And anyways, Brad Dourif was brought in to play the demon. So when he becomes possessed, he turns into Brad Dourif.
Gotcha.
So there's a version of the film, I'm pretty sure, that's just Damien Karras.
Gotcha.
And then there's a version of it's called Legion, and then Exorcist 3 is like Brad Dourif, and it's a hugely famous performance in horror. Brad Dourif changes his tone and voices constantly. His name is Patient X. He's constantly going.
I'm like going back. I'm like writing notes. I'm like, I want to go back and watch this now.
Yeah.
Take it from.
I think he's in like the last 45 minutes of the movie. It's kind of a slow build, but then it's like all Dourif for like the last 45 minutes.
Awesome.
He's changing. There's like makeup done with contact lenses in his eyes. He's changing his voices. He's speaking as a demon, as different characters, as a psycho killer, and people absolutely love this role. And so it's one of the big ones.
And that's kind of what he's known for, is these, like, very over the top characters that.
Yeah, his facial expressions, gritting his teeth, exactly. Yes. Yeah, and then obviously the scene that got him nominated for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is when Nurse Ratched tells him that his mother, what would your mother think? And he starts
Mm-hmm.
screaming, no,
Yeah.
no, that's, one of his most famous scenes. Yeah. But it's just his facial expressions and what he's able to do with his body in that scene.
Yes.
He's very skinny and he's sort of writhing his arms and putting his
Right.
arms back in it. And it shows that he goes above and beyond,
Yeah.
and that's why
Yes.
he's gotten cast, for just numerous years and numerous roles and all these different things and
Right.
side roles in Brian Usna's Progeny and Wise Blood and so many little films that have led to his big roles.
Sure.
And then, you guys are bringing him to little Huntington, West Virginia.
Yep, he's coming back.
How
So
freaking cool.
That
Hope
would
to
be
see you
awesome
guys
is
there.
to someday get him on the podcast.
Oh my God, how fun would that be?
Hey,
that would be really
come
fun.
and meet him.
That's
yeah,
right.
we will. We'll
Yeah.
have to.
Yep.
We'll have to be there.
That would be huge.
That would be awesome.
But we're also doing some awesome other stuff at the Foundry this Halloween.
Yeah, tell us about it because
Yes.
you guys, Jason, I don't know how much you pay attention to the Foundry and,
big time, yeah.
and what Rachel kind of inherited when she took on the Foundry and rebuilding the brand per se. Which she's had a lot of community support to make it happen. It wasn't just her, but so props to all the people along the way. But it is phenomenal to watch City Hall get packed the way that it does.
Oh, I love
for
Yeah.
those events.
Right.
It really is.
So we started last year with Teenage Strangler, and so we're going to do that again. But first, we're doing Child's Play with Brad Dourif.
Nice.
So obviously one of the most famous
Yes.
nightmare films of all time,
Absolutely.
Chucky. If you guys don't know, it's the
Yes.
haunted doll. It's the haunted doll
The
movie.
doll.
And it's actually cool because Chris Sarandon, who is the sheriff who's tracking down Chucky, and he's chasing Brad Dourif at the beginning of the movie. If you don't know, Chucky is actually a human that gets sucked in, his soul
Into
gets
the doll.
sucked into the doll,
Yes.
right? So at the opening, this sheriff is chasing Brad Dourif, and the sheriff is Chris Sarandon, and Chris Sarandon is from Beckley.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, so it's a big.
I love all the knowledge that you have up here.
Thank you.
It's outstanding.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's a big West Virginia movie.
Yeah,
We're doing
I love
that. If you got to meet Brad, you got to see Brad, then you're going to get to see him again on screen in a totally different role from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in Child's Play.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then we're doing Teenage Strangler again.
Which was a big hit last year.
It was awesome. It was
was
huge.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we packed it out. If you guys don't know, Teenage Strangler is a proto-slasher that was shot in Huntington 61 or 62 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A guy in New York that we know has the original print. He has restored it. We are showing, the movie's always been in very low quality. The only way you've been able to see it is, very, very low degraded quality on a VHS tape, a DVD, or YouTube.
Right.
Yes.
And so basically we're showing this gorgeous 2K scan. It's the
Nice.
best way to see the film. And so all through the film, there's these flags in the background that say Marshall and CK, and there's a part where they go in the restaurant,
cool.
but you could never read it before,
Right.
And so now you can read it, and it says Huntington hot dog special and
love it.
Huntington High, and you can see the prices on gas. It's really neat. And so you're kind of getting to see Huntington in a different light in that movie. But the
love
coolest
it.
thing is we have two of the last surviving actors from the film. Ted Klemper and Marlene Sheets.
Right.
And so they're going to come be our special guests.
Nice.
We'll have posters for sale. You can get autographs from the last living actors.
Now, Ted came last
He did.
time,
Ted
correct?
came last time,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And we're also having a poster. We showed this last year, too. There's a poster that was shipped from East Ghana, Africa.
Oh, I remember you telling me this story. It was
Yeah.
so interesting. Jason, you probably, did you listen to that episode?
I did. Yeah.
Did you? Okay. It was such a cool story. If you would like to share it with our listeners,
Yeah.
we have
Sure.
a lot of new listeners since last time you were on.
Sure, yeah. There's this. There's a style in Ghana where these people don't have really access to sort of the films that they're painting the posters for. There's sort of no way for them to sort of get an internet archive of these posters or anything
Right.
like we would have such first world access to.
No pulling up Google like I've been doing all that.
Right. So these guys sort of, they get photos of these films, and they, for these traveling cinemas in Ghana that are sort of projected showings on the back of a truck that sort of travel around to different small countries and cities in Ghana, they will have these artists over there. They'll take a flour sack and they'll cut it up and they'll do a very, very gorgeous, it's very interesting and violent looking. They'll do a hand-painted poster of this film. So let's say that the movie is Alien, right? And
Right.
they would draw the alien, and they might draw Sigourney Weaver, and she might have 2 rocket launchers in each hand, and a mohawk,
Right.
and Harry Dean Stanton might have a worm tongue coming out of his, like a split tongue coming out of his mouth, or like a tattoo on his arm that says "Mom" that he's flexing. Like they're very like campy and interesting. But anyways, we had this poster shipped from East Ghana of the Teenage Strangler. It's 6.5 feet tall. It's hand painted on a flour sack with paint mixed from like natural elements over there and things.
Like berries and whatnot.
Yeah, it's very gorgeous. But it's sort of a hand painted thing of this Huntington movie from 61 years ago.
So
it's
cool.
really cool to see.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's so awesome.
It's very goofy, like character. There's no blood in the original Teenage Strangler, but there's characters decapitated on the poster and just killing each other with knives.
Great marketing.
Yeah, of course. So we'll have that on display at the showing.
That's awesome.
And then finally, on Halloween night, we'll be doing Halloween Kills, which was David Gordon Green's sequel to Halloween 2018 a few years ago. And basically, there is an actor in town, Wally Hale, and Wally Hale stands in sometimes as an actor for Mel Gibson and Will Patton. So he was on that film multiple times. He met Jamie Lee Curtis. He's also got a scene as an extra in the film. And so he'll kind of come talk about what it was like on set, what Jamie Lee Curtis was like, and then he'll point out when we can see him in the film, and we're all going to lose our minds when he comes on.
Absolutely, absolutely. How cool. You were telling me when you first got here, we were kind of catching up. I'm like one of Dylan's biggest fans on the internet. I feel like I'm always like, you're welcome always. You're just always doing really cool things, and you're always you never forget to talk about your roots, and I love that about you. So I think that's really cool. But we were talking about how he discovered that he actually lived a couple doors down or a couple blocks down from him, and he's like, I'm waiting for him to mow his grass so I can go up and, hey,
Yeah,
I just think it's so funny because all of us have been there. Like we've all been like the fangirl or the fangirl,
yeah.
We've all been there. So I think it's so cool, and I love how excited you get. Like it's so genuine, and I love hearing you tell these stories because you can tell that they're in your heart, and I love that. So it's awesome.
Yeah, Wally is just chilling, humble guy, just doing movies and
just going to church.
Yeah, I've just got to say this too. There was a Monster Summer. I was telling Vanessa about this earlier, but Monster Summer is a like witch-themed kids horror movie that came out like a summer ago. But Wally plays all of the scenes of where Mel Gibson's face is not shown, and so this movie's been a big hit on Paramount Plus. Oh gosh,
I'm gonna have to watch it.
The girl's name is escaping me. That was Tony Soprano's therapist, and
I know
what's her name? I met her actually. I met her, so I should really know her name, but. It's on the tip of my tongue.
So many people, so I mean, forgetting one is okay.
Right? No, but she played in that film along with Mel Gibson, and basically Wally Hale, who lives in town, he was Mel Gibson's stand-in in that movie. So there's parts where like kids go and look at like over the fence at like Mel Gibson because they think he might be evil, and like you'll see this guy and he's like raking leaves from behind or like messing with something. They're like, oh, he's like a witch or something.
Something's so eerie about it.
Yeah, but you never see his
what
face.
He does, it's so eerie.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's Wally Hale. And so he also has a scene at the end where like Mel leans down and kisses the woman, and it's shown from behind, but it's actually Wally. So if you see Monster
he's like
Summer,
a lead kiss.
Yeah, Wally gets the big kiss.
Wally.
Thank you, Wally. You're a legend. Had to say it.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. Now I love you were sharing with us about Wally that he reached out to you and was like, hey, a couple of us from the church we're going to go watch the movie.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Of course, Dylan wants to
Absolutely.
go.
Yeah, I got to go see Monster
That's
Summer
so
with
cool.
Mel Gibson stand-in at Pullman down here.
Invited by the star himself.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So cool.
And then it's awesome. I actually did a music video that was shot over in City Hall, below City Hall this time. And it was a recreation of, I shoot music videos, I'm a filmmaker, so this was a recreation of Lee Harvey Oswald's arrest after JFK's assassination.
Oh, cool.
So we referenced all kinds of old photos, and we cast Wally Hale as the main sheriff.
Nice.
And so he said, well, I usually don't have speaking roles, and we're like, well, this is a music video, so... You still won't, but
you're good.
Yeah, but he got to get on screen, and he carried the guy down the hall, and he screamed. He said, "Get out of the way!" And I moved him down, and then there was an interrogation scene. He wagged his finger at him, and he said, "Where were you on the night of 1963 or whatever?"
Yeah.
And he's just so wonderful.
Wow.
Well, that's exciting. That's awesome, and he's from right here in the area. He's a Canova, a Cerrito guy.
I look forward to meeting him.
I'm not sure that I said the right thing because people get very bent out.
No, you're right. Yeah, he's a Cerrito boy.
Yeah.
He's a Cerrito boy.
Don't get that wrong.
That's like saying the Westmoreland's the West End. It's not a thing. People get real fired up.
That's right.
Well, that's awesome. I love that you have made a new friend, for one. That's exciting. And two, like, how cool that this guy is just existing in our community, doing these, like, out of this world roles, like, doubling. and he's just going to church and doing his thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Huntington has a lot of weird film connections that I'm a little
Absolutely.
surprised the community isn't playing on.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. I agree 100%. I think about that all the time.
You know, Rain Man premiered here.
Yeah.
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 Sure
I did know
did.
that, yeah.
And so I'm watching this Dustin Hoffman interview casually,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What's your most memorable moment?" As he's at like a Comic Con, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What's your most memorable moment in your career?" And he's like, "Well, I'm in Huntington, West Virginia," and I'm like, "Holy!" And he's like, "It's my first time seeing my name on a marquee. I walk out of the hotel, my name's on the marquee at this theater." Talking about
I didn't realize
Oh,
that was
yeah.
that
Keith
early
Yeah.
in his career that he did that role. I did
Yeah.
not realize that.
yeah, and so you got to think like Tom Cruise stayed a week here, you know,
Yeah.
and like there's just a lot of really
And-
interesting
and
things.
there's some more modern too, with like We Are Marshall and Matthew McConaughey and the whole
Yeah.
crew with that movie. My husband and I, we were living in the Frederick at the time when they were filming
Oh,
We Are
wow,
Marshall.
cool.
So we got like a front row seat
That's incredible.
to them doing a lot of the scenes.
That's
and
incredible.
things down 4th Avenue, and then the St. James building. My mother-in-law actually managed, and my husband worked there, and my brother-in-law worked there as well. He's like the door guy
Oh,
at the
cool.
time when they started doing the condos and all that.
Yeah.
And so we all got to be like front and center for the
Did you meet him?
green carpet and meet everybody.
Awesome.
And watch, yeah, it was so cool.
That's freaking cool.
So cool. It was so fun. But it's always we were talking when we were recording our 100th episode
Mm-hmm.
prior to you getting here. Huntington is just this outstanding place, and it's so nice to watch people come as outsiders and to be asked, you know, what was your most memorable moment in Huntington, West Virginia?
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, so hopefully we're creating a few new of those memories with Brad Dourif, and that's why we need the community to sort of show out and kind of show him
Absolutely.
like how
Absolutely.
thankful we are for kind of taking us and putting us on the map, you know?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
So we've got a few tickets left for that. So on foundrytheater.org, you can get tickets for One
Okay.
Floor of the Cuckoo's
Looking
Nest
forward
with
to
Brad
that.
Dourif.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really awesome. I think that we're going to have to add something to our calendar here, Jason.
100%.
We're always like everywhere, and we talk about how we're everywhere. We're easy to be found, so we have to add that to our
That'll be
our
done.
schedule. And we are definitely having you back to do another Halloween.
Yeah,
story.
yeah, I would love to
We
do
did
it.
Ghost of Fifth Street Hill last year.
Oh, yeah.
Fifth Street
Oh,
Hill,
yeah.
so-
I would love
so
to do it.
We'll do another one. And we're even got Jason a little in on the
Yeah.
Halloween. He's going to come up with a story, so I'm looking forward to that. But Dylan, as always, like, we love having you. We love the energy that you bring.
Thank you so
and
much.
Absolutely.
you
Come
are-
anytime.
Thank you
Seriously.
so
you are
much.
always welcome, especially anytime you guys have anything going on and we can help in any way, even if it's. And if you don't have time to come on the podcast, we'll talk about it for you.
No, of
Probably
course,
not
absolutely.
With your energy, but we will do it to the best of our ability. And
Oh,
hopefully
I
make you
appreciate
proud.
it so much. I appreciate it
Absolutely.
so much.
All right, guys, we are out of here.
Thank you
Awesome.
all.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Alex R. White, PLLC, at SueDistractedDriver.com. If you have a memory you want Vanessa to talk more about, just send her an email at tstm@mail.com or post a comment on the Tri-State Time Machine Facebook page. Did you like the episode? Be sure to share it with friends and family. It's the only way we can continue this fun work that we do. You can find a link in the show notes that you can use to share it. And be sure to let our sponsors know you like the podcast as well. Their contact information can be found in this episode's show notes.